Hey, happy spring, everybody. This is Jim from Jim's Holiest to Coleus. Here I am in the greenhouse, and we can see we've been pretty busy. I did have a Earth Day sale fair last weekend, or it was 2 weekends ago. I guess a week and a half, last Saturday. It was a very windy day, very windy, and it was a little more windy than I really would prefer, but can't control the weather. I did pretty well. However, there was a little side effect from too much wind. And for those of you who are pretty well, who have followed me over the years and so forth, or pretty well in the horticultural community or whatever, and know about hardening plants and so forth, and how you harden plants, and I have a few videos on that, is to get them out into the elements and get them used to some sun, get them used to that, some wind and so forth. But sometimes these plants are a little too young to really put out and harden, and what happened is I got some damage to some of the Coleus, but it's not irreparable. It's nothing that's gonna really affect the plants. It's just a little more work that I need to do. And let me show you an example. I've been pretty busy in here trimming some of the plants, but let's find a little example. All right, here's this Kong. Now, if you can see, you see that beautiful, rich, the green and the color, but you notice around the edges that's sort of like burned. It's like a whitish, just like a burned white. That's a real mild case of from the wind and the damage just from that day. I cut a lot of the leaves that really got damaged. You could see it. It was just a little harsh for that. So what I've been doing is as you can see, some of them are missing a leaf or two, like here. I just cut, and that's what you do. You just cut the damaged leaves. Even these here, you can cut these. This is still a very young plant, and that's going to promote that bottom growth, and that goes for any plant and so forth. So that one right there, it shows up. It does have some damage. So but you know what? It's going to come back. It's not dead. It's just from the wind. Here's another pretty good example. You can see it's got a little damage, and that can be that'll be rectified. I'm going to get to this plant by just cutting those big leaves, because all that, you can see some undergrowth coming in. Let's see if I can get a shot of that. But you can get that undergrowth coming in, so it's not gonna, and those are some rootings in the back. So I've been pretty busy. I made up a whole bunch of hanging baskets, and every year, and I've been doing this for, I guess, going on 6 years or so, 5 years. Every year it's different. The weather's just crazy. This has probably been the coldest spring so far. I mean, you can argue it's early spring, it's May, but it's really been fighting every night to stay above 50, and it really slows down the growth of the Coleus plants, because I mean, once the temperatures are sustained at above 70, then it really makes a big difference. I mean, these really take off and they just continue. But the up and down 75, 80, and then it's I gotta put the heater on and it goes to 50, and there's not a lot of humidity. It just slows the growth down, as opposed to people that maybe live in tropical climates that have some really nice hot humid weather. But as we approach summer and so forth, that's when the ideal conditions come in for the plants. So I'm not really worried, but it did slow me down a little bit. So basically now I'm just at the point where I'm just getting some maintenance, trimming some plants, so forth. You can see a lot of them have that damage, that whitish tint on the leaves. So I just trimmed those down again. And this plant is far from damaged. I mean, it has very slight, and I probably won't trim some of that because it's a very, very slight, and that'll come right back. The real damaged leaves I cut Those were like really, you know, significantly. You could see they were all brown and curled up, and that's that. So, but that's really what I'm doing now. Just getting these going, rotating them around. I made a couple of these. These are really nice. Again, that one I really trimmed up well. And you know, another month there, some back there, a little bit of damage, but these will fill out really nicely. So if you look at my other videos, I make these up every year, these triple window box planters, and they're pretty popular. Once these Kongs jump up, you know, when they fill out that hole, you see nothing but 3 big beautiful Coleus, and you just grab out. People say, okay, that's mine. So same with these. I made a whole bunch of these up, but I saved them because I only have a few more pots left for next year, so I don't want to use all of them. And these are a little more difficult to transport when I bring them to the fairs and so forth. So I just made up a bunch of these. I have so many. Here's another one that I'm trimming. You can see all that undergrowth coming in, and that's what you do. You just be patient. Trim them. Once that hot weather comes in, it's going to pop in. Before you know it, it's going to be a big, beautiful Coleus. So I'm really looking forward to these red. These are the Defiance Coleus. So I put them in red pots purposely. I think it's going to be a really sharp. I'm really excited. I can't wait to see how these turn out once they're fully developed. So that's that. If you look at, I think the first video I did a few weeks back, that's that one Coleus that I was telling you to watch out, keep an eye out for. But that's really neat. It's gonna be a neat car, a neat plant. So, and again, a bunch of plants. These are just singles that I'll make up more hanging baskets. Got a whole bunch on the bottom here. These I need to pull out more and really go over more. These really got damaged. These little square window box. You can see I trimmed a whole bunch off. These were a little weird because they're small. So I had to really pick and choose what Coleus to put in there because they're small window boxes. These big Coleus don't really look good in that. So I really needed to put. So I put a lot of jitters in there because they tend to be a little smaller, thinner foliage. But again, they really got burned by the wind, so I trimmed them down. You can see that one there. And I got some more back in the way in the back there. So it's a lot of a lot of time in here, just rotating, making sure everybody gets attended to, make sure everybody gets their water. It's a nice breezy day, so I got the greenhouse wide open. That does wonders. Make sure you get lots of ventilation. I can't stress that enough, especially once you get into the really hot weather. I got the fan here, but right now it's a beautiful, breezy, cool, 70s day, and it just does wonders. The oxygen pumping through here does wonders for these. So that's just as a follow along. Just continue. If you have any leaves that don't look good, just cut them down. You see every Coleus is a little different, but if you see one that looks like it's kind of like these, they're getting tall and top heavy and stuff. If you see some undergrowth coming in on the bottom, like there, trim the tops, and that'll get that bottom growth accelerated. So like in here, these are still pretty. Again, all things being equal, if this is a different spring and it was a lot warmer already, these would be in a little more advanced state. So, but overall, I'm not really upset. I got a lot of nice growth down here. So just keep watering them. Make sure they get, I rotate these from rack to rack, back and forth. You can see they're starting to now all turn towards the sun. So tomorrow I come in here, I'm gonna actually put them out. If as long as it's not that windy, today would be a great day to put them out to harden them up a little more. But they got a pretty good shot of hardening last week. So I really just want to strengthen them up a little bit, give them a break. But overall, everybody here looks nice and healthy. And it's just, you know, it's the impatient part of me that, knowing what these are going to look like and how fast I want them to look that well. But I know that the effort coming in here every day, watering them, making sure I attend to each one and trim, is the only way you're going to get your plants to look like that. So that's what I look at. So okay, so hope everybody has a good week. Thanks for following along. Nice color. These are all, they're all looking out towards the sun. They're like, give me more light, give me more light. Makes like to make a little more hanging baskets, but it kind of takes up a lot of room in here. These are really starting to explode here. You know, these, and I move these around also. I go from back to front. I turn them around. When they're up front here, I'll turn them around. I'll move the hooks a little bit. And this is coming in quite nicely. As you can see, in another couple of weeks, you won't even see any soil. It's just going to be all Coleus. And that's it. You just choose maybe 3 of your favorite. You got trays or whatever. You have all different ones. You know, mix it up. And just put a couple of different Coleus in there. Keep trimming it. There's a nice jitters. It's only a jitters Kong Coleus combination there. Has a little of that Kong leaf action going, but it's more of like a jitters because of the slender slit of pink down the center, as opposed to that. It's a little more wider. So those are beautiful. I love these burgundy. I always like that soft velvet burgundy with the green contrast. It's just, you know, it's really nice. But this is probably, I don't know, I have lots of favorites, but I think overall, if I had to choose, if I was dropped on an island, you know, you say you only have one, you're only allowed to bring one Coleus with you, it would be these, the Kongs, because these are really beautiful. So, but I'm lucky I'm not getting dropped on an island. So, and there's the kaleidoscope with finger paints. Those are a little more difficult to keep going. They need a little more care. So just keep doing what you're doing, follow along, keep them trimmed. Don't be afraid to cut these leaves. Again, I say it's a necessary evil at this stage. Just keep them trimmed though. And as the temperatures warm up, unless you're already in a climate that are better than that's better than New Jersey, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep trimming them, and you'll be fine. Any comments, any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment, and I'll absolutely get back to you. Thanks again for everyone following. I know I say it pretty often, but I appreciate making friends, people following along, and the comments and the friendship. Appreciate it. All right, everybody, have a good week. Enjoy the weekend. We're still getting hit with a lot of rain here in New Jersey, but what can you do? Can't change the weather. So, all right, everybody, this is Jim from Jim's Holiest Coleus. Enjoy the week, and thanks for following along.